Welcome to Knights of the Dirty Table, everyone. I am your host, Super Knight, Merrick Henry, and with me is...
The Dark Knight, Wayne Dwyer.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
I was.
And
Although I like Superman way more than I like Batman.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's fair. We are doing a special YouTube exclusive where we are talking about what went down at DC Fandome this past weekend. A lot of really cool trailers. Before we mention that, though, I don't know if you agree with me on this. I actually thought DC put together a really strong presentation. As far as it's a pre-recorded thing that they put together. You had access to this video of panels and reveals and talking to the creators. It was like a 24-hour access thing. Yeah. But I thought they put together a really strong presentation.
So how do I put this? I didn't watch it.
That's the spirit.
I was too busy running around doing a bunch of other things before. But I did see what I did see of it though, because I did when I got home, I watched the Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah, no, I
did see a lot of things that it did, and I thought it was cool. I'm all for it. Keep that whole social distancing thing away. People can't go to cons right now.
They can't go to cons, and what I thought was really cool was most of this stuff usually gets revealed at San Diego Comic-Con, the International Comic-Con.
The International Wait in Line.
Exactly.
Comic-Con. And
most of the time, these people who get into these cons, they're bloggers who are telling all the people in the outside world what's going on with the trailer, typing away. And, that takes away the tickets from people who want to go and enjoy it just to have fun, in my opinion.
I don't know. If I want to read a book, I'm going to read a book. If I want to watch a trailer, I'm going to watch a trailer. I want to actually see the things that are going to be happening, not sitting there having some 60-year-old guy typing away on his keyboard telling me what's going to happen in this trailer.
Because those people don't know if the trailers are going to get put out to the public. Marvel does not put out most of their trailers. They may do one on a blue moon after a Comic-Con, but they usually won't. They'll save it as a special thing for the people inside, and it's no, we can't go see it.
I'm one of those weird people that don't like watching trailers. Because I ever since
I understand why.
Ever since a certain movie that I will not speak of because I hate it with every fiber of my being came out, I got all excited, and then I was like, I went to go see this movie, and it isn't the one you're thinking of. It's not Suicide Squad.
This could be any movie with you, Wayne. So you might as well just say it for the folks at home.
It's basically Batman v Superman. Got excited. Went to go see it. Sat down in the movie, and then I realized that Jesse Eisenberg just gave some lady a jar of pee, and I just wasted $5 and my friend's money and his time to go see this stupid movie. I hated it.
Yes. We'll save that discussion for another day. But I see what you mean as far as the trailers getting something totally different. That I understand.
Yeah, they gave you and then when they did it again with Suicide Squad for people, I remember actually being. It was the first movie I ever saw that I was actively embarrassed to watch.
Also, to that point, though, the Comic-Con trailer footage that we got for Suicide Squad was a totally different film than what we got. Yeah. And that was done on purpose as a result of BVS. But I think the presentation that DC put together for their fan experience, for everyone around the world to enjoy these trailers all together in the moment and watching these pre-taped video panels with all the stars, like the Wonder Woman panel where a lot of their stars came out to talk, and the Suicide Squad panel came out and talked to each other.
Had a bunch of people talking about it.
It was nice that we all got to be able to participate in it for once. And I wonder if they take this model, or if any of these major franchise companies, they going forward make their own panels rather than present at Comic-Con. Because I wonder if the traffic is better for them.
What they basically did was they borrowed from Nintendo. Nintendo does that every year at E3 whenever they make a little video for it, and then they get people hyped up. They show you what trailers are going to come out, which ones you should be excited for, how much money am I going to throw at them for the new Zelda game, and then that's it. That's all their E3 presents, and then whatever video games they do. So I feel like they just basically borrowed the idea from Nintendo, which is a great idea to do.
Absolutely.
For people. And then you don't have to worry about I couldn't go to Hall F because I think it's Hall F.
It's Hall H.
Same place. And just wait in line, just to sit there and wait in line for you to get a chance to maybe look at a trailer. Instead of here, you can all look at it. I liked the idea of the event, whether or not if I liked the product is entirely irrelevant to this point. Because me and you have gone on record, I'm not the biggest DC movie fan.
Right.
I think that the majority of them are not good movies.
To each their own.
Yeah, to each their own. The only one I actually did say that I enjoyed was Wonder Woman, all the way up to the third act where it turned into Dragon Ball Z. I will say that until I die.
I know that Marvel is definitely, like, DC is way more keen on putting out their trailers. They want that to be a differentiating factor between them and
I think
Marvel.
that's a great
They put out their trailers almost after every panel, so that's different. It's Marvel that I'm more curious about. I know Disney's going to be doing their own fan online event thing at some point really soon.
I'd imagine they're going to show you
with all their other trailers. I have to imagine there's going to be some things for Marvel stuff based on what they shot.
I would imagine so.
But I wonder if they're going to do this going forward, where they're just going to save all of their content for future fan Disney events that isn't the D23 Expo or Hall H at Comic-Con, because we want to see this footage. We all want to get excited about it too.
We all want to. I don't want to sit there and look on like someone's cell phone video that's grainy to see Doomsday.
Exactly.
When I could just see the trailer and be like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" Regardless of how I felt about the movie or not, I still felt the hype.
Yeah, I think the perk of being in Hall H should be you get to be in there and see all these actors and be in the room like a live concert and potentially get to ask questions to the people yourself. But outside of that, everyone else should be able to enjoy the same footage all the same. That's what I think, because so many bloggers and people who are promoting their own brand as cosplayers or game players or whatever, they're all going for them. So there's a lot of other people, such as families, that don't quite get to go because there's so many other people promoting themselves that have tickets that are going to this event. That's kind of my frustration with San Diego Comic-Con, even though it's the biggest thing. So that's why I really think DC Fandome worked. I'm curious how it goes moving forward.
I completely agree with you on that. I said whether or not I like it or not is irrelevant about the product. I think what they did for their idea was great.
So let's talk about some of those ideas that were presented. The biggest one of the biggest ones that came up first was the 1984 Wonder Woman movie trailer.
Yep.
This like official main one. Now you've seen that.
I did see it.
What did you think of that?
I liked it.
What did you think of Cheetah?
I think she looks fake. I feel like she looks like too much CGI, but then again, though, if you look at the character, there's not really a way they can go for it. And who's playing her? Kristen
Wiig from SNL, which I think is fun casting. I'm really excited to see her.
I like her. I think she's funny. I loved her in the Looney Tunes show.
She was a serious actress in the Ben Stiller movie, like something Walter Schmidt.
Oh yeah.
That movie, so I saw her be like a serious actress. It was kind of incredible. So that's why I was excited to see her.
If she can pull it off, that's cool. But like, I don't really know that much about Wonder Woman's rogues gallery compared to like Batman or Superman.
I mean, everyone aside from Superman and Spider-Man and X-Men, everyone's rogues gallery is not as great as those
the
ones.
Flash's rogues gallery is fantastic.
Yes, but they weren't dominant for a while. They only became popular because of the TV show.
They only became popular because of the TV show, and then
or a general audience.
And then one of my favorite writers, Jeff Johns, made him really good.
Right.
But the movie looks fine.
I'm excited. It'll be nice to actually be able to see a superhero movie again.
It'll be nice to actually look at a superhero movie from a DC instead of looking at what looks like to be very, very dark shadows.
That's fair. That's fair.
I said that about Wonder Woman the first time when I saw it. I was like, I loved all the way up to that last part when it just became a blurry Dragon Ball Z fight.
I think their panel definitely delivered as far as like bringing to the fans. Like we're really dying to bring this movie to you. We just can't because it's not safe, which I totally think is the right call.
I think that is completely the right call because I don't want anyone getting sick.
Definitely. I'm definitely excited. I'm more excited to see it now than I kind of was before when it was originally supposed to release in June.
Wonder Woman, I'll go see it. I'll wait for it to come out. I'll probably just get like a bunch of friends while I'll watch it. I think her new outfit looks ridiculous.
The golden wing one?
Yeah. It looks very silly.
It's different.
I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Everyone was like, oh, she's not white. It was like, well, Wonder Woman's Greek to begin with, so it doesn't matter.
No, Gal's great. Gal's great.
She's
That's not a question. It's the role she was born.
She is actually, like, she was the saving grace of Batman v Superman and the Justice League for me.
Okay. We'll need to do a DC extended universe wrap up.
Universe, and then I've always liked Wonder Woman from the Batman, the animated TV series too.
Oh, right, the DC animated universe. Yeah, no,
I've always liked her from that. So
I've liked her characterization from that too.
I loved her characterization. She's actually like one of my favorite characters in that show.
She's strong. She's a strong character. So another trailer that got dropped for the video games was Gotham City Knights. WB Games Montreal, their response to the Arkhamverse and trying to make a game in between next Rocksteady game that's coming out, where you can play as Red Hood and Robin and Batgirl and Nightwing. It takes place after Batman Arkham Knight, where, spoiler if you haven't played, muted if you don't want to know, Batman dies at the end of Arkham Knight, basically.
Oh, no. I didn't know that because I don't think I actually finished Arkham Knight.
Oh, well, then this is horrible for you.
I don't care.
So what did you think of the trailer?
It reminds me of another video game that I love. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
Oh, yes!
They basically took Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, put the gameplay from Arkham into it, like
Right.
Batgirl.
It's an open world Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
They basically, like Batgirl, she's going to focus mainly on stealth. And, like, Robin's going to be a stealth character. Red Hood's going to be...
A basher.
A basher.
A basher.
He's going to use guns and stuff. And Red Robin? He's...
Nightwing.
So he's going to be, like, the generic one that all of them play around. So that's cool.
I think it's great. It's kind of what I wanted from Arkham Knight based on the trailers that I saw. Because
I think the idea is great. I just feel like they just borrowed something from Spider-Man.
There's nothing wrong with that in my mind if it's a good story. Like, there was flack from Arkham Origins for it not being as innovative as Arkham City or Arkham Asylum. It was just a continuation of the gameplay.
I disagree with that because that joke... So, I'm not the biggest Joker fan, as you know.
Right.
I'm a bigger Two-Face and Riddler and Scarecrow fan.
Right.
So, the spoilers for Arkham Origins, that's like 12 years old now.
Yep.
When the Black Mask reveals that he's the Joker, I did not see that coming.
Oh, I didn't see that coming either. That was...
And everyone ragged on Troy Baker for playing the Joker.
I had no problem with that.
I thought he was one of the better Jokers that they did.
Absolutely. I was a teeny tiny bit disappointed that the Joker wound up being the main villain of Arkham Origins, just because it was more Joker. But then again, I have no problem with more Jokers, so it didn't bother me. I was just hoping maybe they'd go in a little bit of different direction, but either way, it was still nice and creative.
Yeah, it was a good idea. I liked that game. I still remember fighting Bane in that game. How intense that fight was.
Yeah, Bane. Ooh, you didn't
that
want to
fight
mess with
was
Bane in Arkham Origins.
crazy in that game. Like the part when you have to go scale the hotel, that part was awesome.
There was a lot to like. People just wanted it to be as innovative as the other Arkham games.
And
I don't necessarily need every single game to be innovative. I just want them to be good. And I thought Arkham Origins was really good. It took the game engine from Arkham City. So Arkham City's map was like this big. Arkham Origins map was like basically 2 Arkham City maps.
It was.
And I was completely fine with basically just being that, just adding on to the game engine already. And I thought it was a good enough story.
I also liked the voice actor for Batman in that game.
Yep, Roger Craig Smith, yep.
Who voices Sonic the Hedgehog now, and he's great. He also voiced Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Yes, yep.
Which is one of my favorite video games. I liked how you actually got to use the Long Halloween costume.
Yep.
Because Long Halloween is my favorite Batman book. I think it was like one of the first books I gave you to read.
Yes, it was.
And that is if you get a chance to read Long Halloween. You won't regret it. It's a long book, but it's such a good book.
It's a long Halloween.
Exactly. Well, it was 12 issues.
But yeah, I'm really excited for Gotham City Knights. I'm really happy it's coming out next year. And
is it going to be for PS4 or
PS4, Xbox One, PC, and PS5 and Xbox?
Then that's great.
Series X.
As I said, I think borrowing the idea from Shattered Dimensions was a good idea.
I think it's great. I wanted this kind of from Arkham Knight because in the trailers they were making it look like you could just switch out as Nightwing and Robin, like basically playing like a Lego game anytime, and you could only play as them in certain points in the story.
I feel like what they're going to do is
I think they fixed that.
I feel like what they're going to do is like you have like Robin missions, and then you have Nightwing missions, and then you have Red Hood missions.
And that I have no problem with.
And
just
Batgirl,
give me...
and your open world, you can go around and do whichever one you want.
I'm excited for the versatility in an Arkham game.
I'm excited that Nightwing is finally going to get out of Batman's shadow for once.
Yeah.
Although recently, though, a lot of people have been saying how Nightwing's one of their favorite characters.
Nightwing's a great character. I've always been saying that.
You
just didn't believe me.
I always liked Nightwing.
Oh, so you're saying everyone else?
Yeah.
Got you. So
everyone
that's
just associates him with Robin. That's why. So he's just an older Robin.
Yeah, definitely, and it works. Nightwing's one of my favorite characters still. Next up that came out was The Suicide Squad, the James Gunn directed sequel film, kind of / soft reboot to the original Suicide Squad film from 2016.
I feel bad for him because he has to fix all the problems that was made in the first one.
Which I would like to stress, sidebar, I don't think is the fault of the original Suicide Squad director. I think they just were working on like a terrible time. I think that was a WB problem. I don't think that was...
I think the whole thing should just be forgotten. The only good thing out of it,
that's what they want. That's what they want.
Whether or not I like her
it.
or not is whether or not if I like the character or not. I still think she does a great job, which is Margot Robbie. I think she's a great Harley Quinn. I'm not the biggest fan of Harley Quinn. You guys can all hate me in the comments below, please do. But that's just me, though. I feel like she's a stronger character with the Joker than without him. I've always felt that way. I did watch the TV show with you, though, and I laughed at it a bunch of times. I will say this, though. It is funny. She's basically become DC's answer to Deadpool.
Definitely. Absolutely. No question. What did you think of all the characters that they revealed in the character reveal trailer?
So many of them were going to die in the beginning.
I know. I think you... either you, I forget who said it, but one of our other nights, someone had said that they were like nervous that there were so many characters in the movie, and my response is, it's the Suicide Squad.
I think that was me.
There's probably you. There's going to be a handful of them that are going to die, more than just one.
I'm excited. I'm
like
excited. So what got me was Polka Dot Man's in the movie.
I know, that was me. That made me so excited.
I was like,
I was not expecting him.
Am I also gonna is my dream finally gonna come true? The worst superhero of all time is finally gonna be put in a superhero movie. Are they gonna make next the Condiment King?
Please
make. I mean, he did get his 1 second of glory in the Lego Batman movie, which is still to this day the best Batman movie within like ever, except for the 1960s Batman. Because I feel like with Batman though, you have to take a little bit of. You get to laugh a little bit at Batman.
Definitely, yeah.
Because everyone always just thinks that he's super serious. When you think about it, he's just a man dressed as a flying rodent. You should laugh at it.
Definitely. No, I get that.
Like, my favorite episode of the Justice League episode is the one when Batman has to sing.
Am I blue for you?
That's a great episode on top of it.
Highly recommended. No, I love the lineup of actors for this. Michael Rooker, who's worked with James Gunn previously in Guardians of the Galaxy, as Yondu. Sean Gunn also, same thing. He's in it. John Cena.
Yeah, but none of us are going to be able to see John Cena because you can't see John Cena. You have to have special John Cena glasses to see him. Or you just have to move your face in front of it a bunch of times so you can see him.
Of course.
That's just an old wrestling joke. I'm sorry. I had to make the wrestling joke.
Idris Elba is in it.
Which is weird because Idris Elba hated the Marvel movies.
DC must have convinced him.
They paid him a lot of money.
I was gonna say that must have been the paycheck. Must have been.
I like Idris Elba. So I've already said it. I'm basically done with superhero movies at this point.
Yes, you have told me that.
And it's not because I felt like the end for me was Endgame.
Which is funny because originally we talked off camera a couple years ago, and he said that Infinity War he was going to be done with. He didn't care about Part 2, and then he was like, "God damn it, I got to go see this movie."
And then I saw. I was like, "Oh, God damn it, I got to see this fucking movie."
I'm excited. I don't know what necessarily the antagonist is for the Suicide Squad.
I hope that it's not supernatural. I feel like the Suicide Squad is way better without a supernatural villain.
I agree. I think something a little more grounded.
Way more grounded. So I just think that it would be such a cool idea is that for them not to have a world-ending threat. Like the animated Suicide Squad movie was awesome.
There was a very specific target that they had that they needed to deal with.
And it was a very good movie. On top of it being a suicide, like I told you, I love that movie. That's one of my favorite DC animated movies.
Assault on Arkham, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good movie. And they were like low key. Everyone has like minor powers. I think the strongest character in that whole thing was Killer Frost, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, and she has like low range ice powers. So I hope that's what they go for in this, and not go for the world is going to end with a giant portal, because that's just cliche at this point.
Definitely.
Stop making giant portals.
Yeah, it does seem like a huge, major cliche. Speaking of movies that have giant portals in it.
Yep, here we go.
Let's talk Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
So I'm just going to say this. I'm sorry for cursing, but we're on YouTube, so they're going to demonetize me anyway.
Nope.
If you have shit and you dress it up into other fancy shit, you still have shit. That movie was fucking awful.
So now with the Snyder Cut,
you're just going to get more bad movie.
4 hours worth, too. They're splitting it into 4 parts, an hour long each. It's going to be a 4-hour overall
I would
thing.
rather shoot myself in the foot than watch 4 hours of anything Zack Snyder. I hate Zack Snyder. I don't think I've ever seen the best movie he's ever made was The Owls of Gul'dan, because I never saw it. I'm pretty sure that's not even how you pronounce it.
Worth it. Moving on. And on that note, so Black Adam had a teaser as well. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
The Rock should play Lex Luthor. I've been trying to convince you for like the last 3 weeks.
It's not going to happen. He's Black Adam.
That's awesome. I love Black Adam. He's cool. But he should be Lex Luthor.
All right. So hashtag Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I mean...
The Rock for Lex Luthor. That's the hashtag.
What better
hashtag
way
for
like the Lex to come out in like the power armor and like he just looks over, pops the eyebrow and just goes, "Do you smell what Lex is cooking?"
Oh, man.
I just, me, myself, I'm just a huge Rock
So
fan.
what do you think about the Justice Society being in this movie? You're getting Dr. Fate.
That's cool. I like Dr.
that's
Fate.
huge. I'm thrilled we're getting a Dr. Fate on
Dr.
screen.
Fate's going to be in a movie. That's awesome.
I do forget who the other ones were. I just remember Dr. Fate.
That's the only one that really matters.
Yeah, I remember thinking that
maybe
too.
we're going to get the old Green Lantern, the original one.
There were 4 heroes from the Justice Society in the movie that are taking on Black Adam. I only remember Dr. Fate.
The only problem that I have with antagonists being the main characters of villains is that the antagonist being the protagonist of a movie is you either have to do it one of 2 ways. The 2 really good ways, which is one from Death Note, because Light Yagami is the main character of that entire series.
Right.
And I love that show. And the other way
Let me see if I can look up these heroes while you're talking away at the
and
camera.
the other one is Thanos, which is they make it completely unsympathetic for what he's doing. He knows that what he's doing is wrong, but he still feels like he needs to do it.
Right.
So he has to be believable in his actions for what he's doing. And I feel like with Black Adam, from what I saw, they're just kind of just saying, "I was trapped away a long time." I don't know all of Black Adam's story. I don't read Shazam. I feel like it's basically just like a filler point for them to fight Shazam.
That was it. Hawkman. That was the other one. I knew there was another like.
Is Hawkwoman also in it?
Not Hawkwoman. It's Hawkman, Dr. Fate, and Cyclone. They're appearing in the movie. Cyclone's a little bit more of a more underground. Oh, and Atom Smasher. That was the other one.
Ooh, Atom Smasher.
Atom Smasher, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, and Cyclone are your Justice Society.
So they are going to be your antagonists.
Yes, against Black Adam.
Which he's going to stomp the crap out of.
Oh yeah, because
he's going to rock bottom all of them.
Yeah, he's going to rock bottom them.
If he does it, you don't know how happy I'll be if I just see the Rock just take him out.
I think it's really cool, and I mean they're looking to make this Shazam Black Adam fight a reality in the films. Like I know The Rock was probably saying like we got to have him fight Shazam at some point. Like I like that they're making it. I do think Black Adam is an interesting character to set up for his own movie because he has really morphed into an anti-hero in the last couple of decades. But I still think it's a cool approach, and it makes it so when they do fight Shazam and Black Adam in a future film, it means something. So I can respect that.
I feel like they could actually. I feel like what they should do is that they should just have the Black Adam have his own movie, and then eventually have him build up to like a Thanos level of villainy.
You think him being that would be interesting.
That would be a good, because like there's a lot of potential with him with magic.
That's true.
And whatever else they decide to do is fine. I mean, like he could like try to like do whatever, go back in time or whatever.
If Justice League had been the way that Warner Brothers wanted it, maybe they could have. But at the same time, with Justice League, I think they also wanted Injustice League.
Yeah, they wanted to do Darkseid.
Oh, that too. They wanted to set up Injustice League and Darkseid for the future, but they didn't give us Darkseid, and they didn't give us Justice League until the end.
But the problem with jumping to Darkseid, it's like you want to jump to the main menu. Because Darkseid is my favorite DC villain.
He's a fantastic villain.
He's the best villain. Michael Ironside all day.
We're getting Darkseid in this cut.
That's cool. I guess.
It's not canon though, but we're getting him.
It doesn't matter. It's basically I don't want to see my favorite DC villain be thrown down a toilet.
Okay.
But I feel like with Darkseid is that every time they've ever done him in like any of the animated shows, they've always built up to him.
Oh yeah, because
I mean, they realized halfway through season 2 of Justice League, we have to bring back Darkseid. And then when they did, they made it like a big event. It was the ending of the show.
Which would be interesting if they had made Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam be that central villain as the Thanos of the DC extended universe. I actually think that'd be a really cool concept.
I think it would be a great concept. I mean, like, you would have, like, your anti-hero, or even if he was, like, the Loki of the whole thing.
Fair enough, yeah. Like, it's like a one-off team-up.
I could honestly see, like...
He would be a great villain to come back for... when they have to attempt Justice League 2 at some point. I feel like they have to.
They have to.
I think that'd be really cool. Like, if Shazam joined the Justice League and they kept Ben Affleck's Batman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, they kind of pick and chose which heroes they wanted.
Just get rid of Ezra Miller as the Flash, because I hate that Flash.
Well, it's funny.
It's funny that I mentioned that.
Funny you mentioned that because the Flash, while it didn't have a trailer, they did have a panel to remind people that the Flash is coming in June of 2021. No, that's not right. I think 2022.
2022, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they could do it for June, but so the Flash is...
Ezra Miller, regardless of how I felt, I hated that character. Everyone was like, oh, he's the best part of the movie. No, he's not. Aquaman felt like a fever dream to me. I can't wait to see Aquaman 2.
I just wish that it wasn't Barry Allen. I wish it was a Wally West thing. That's kind of the only thing.
I love Wally West.
I do too. I just wish that it wasn't the Barry Allen Flash. Like, you could take the entire characterization. I have no problem with it. Just don't call him Barry Allen. That's my only thing. I didn't really see a problem with him. I do think some of the jokes were forced in Justice League, but I think everyone's learning from... It sounds like everyone's learning from the mistakes of the previous... powers that be that were doing Justice League and putting that together, and they're trying to wheedle those out for future films.
Don't put someone as insane as Zack Snyder, who just wants to show off cool things for your movie franchise. I mean, everyone always points out about Michael Bay with the Transformers. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know I'm going off topic on this one, but
that's why we hired you for this, Wayne, so you're fine.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, how cool was the first Transformers movie? It was awesome. Go back, rewatching it, you just fall asleep. I tried to do that with Batman v Superman. I've tried to watch it. I've watched it in the gym while running on a treadmill. And I don't think I've ever wanted to run faster so I could stop watching Batman versus Superman. It actively motivated me to work harder.
It's good to have a motivation, bud.
Yes.
So what do you say? So they did recently announce that Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman for this Flash movie, as well as Michael Keaton from Tim Burton's 1989 film. They're basically making this a Flashpoint film. What are your thoughts on the Batmen getting together?
I like Michael Keaton. I've always liked Michael Keaton. I think he'll play an awesome old Bruce Wayne. I thought Ben Affleck was one of the stronger points of...
I agree. I think he's a great Bruce Wayne and Batman. He's my favorite live-action Batman, personally.
The thing is, like...
Which maybe that's a hot take, so
that's
feel
fine.
free to comment down below.
He's the best one because Christian Bale couldn't do action to save his life. At least Ben Affleck could fight. So, like, for me, like, my favorite one is George Clooney because I love all that ridiculous stuff. But that's just me, though. You guys can fight me in the comments.
So are you excited that this is basically a Flashpoint movie?
I love Flashpoint, the book. I was really disappointed in the TV show when they just kind of glimpsed over it.
Yes, that was a flaw. Do you think that this film will do better than
the
TV show?
Flashpoint was made to restart the DC universe for the New 52.
Yep.
So if they're doing a Flashpoint, then that means we get Professor Zoom.
Yes, you're right.
Which will be awesome.
We need a badass Professor Zoom for that.
I mean...
And quite frankly, this may be their way of making it so they can reconnect and start having more shared universe stuff, as well as establishing a multiverse basically on film for Robert Pattinson's Batman and then Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and establishing that all these films exist.
I don't want to see a 30-year-old man beat the crap out of a 60-year-old man. I'm sorry, I never will. I'm pretty sure Joaquin Phoenix is not 60. I think he's like in his 50s. But still, my message still was applied.
So, speaking of villain-esque things, do you have any thoughts on the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game that's coming out in 2022? Rocksteady's next Arkham game.
I didn't watch the trailer. I think that was one of the ones I forgot to watch.
Well, so I'll give you the rundown. So you're playing as 4 different characters. Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Deadshot, who is not white. He's African American.
Is he sounding like Will Smith?
Kind of ish.
I'm sorry. Then
you have Captain Boomerang.
Okay.
And you have King Shark. And Brainiac is taking over Metropolis, and he is using Superman and the Justice League to kill everybody off. So the aspect of the game, there was no gameplay revealed for this, mind you, not like Gotham City Knights. The Suicide Squad is sent in to kill the Justice League because Brainiac has control of them. What do you think of that as a premise for a game? You can play as all 4 characters, and they all have different sets of moves and everything.
Do you remember what I said earlier about the Suicide Squad?
Yes.
About how they're way better handling mundane things.
That's not this.
That is not this.
Not even close.
Superman is literally going to rip them all in half.
We'll have to see.
Like I bet you, like, if Superman was actually ever serious, he would just like, and then the person he'd heat beam them in half.
Yep.
He'd have 2 halves of cooked fish.
Would you play this game in 2 years?
No.
You're great for conversation. So another thing that was revealed as well is so the Shazam sequel. You haven't seen the first one.
No, I have not.
But they did reveal for the title that the sequel is called Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which could be our potential Black Adam appearance. They wanted to briefly establish him in first Shazam, but they didn't. They kept that out. It's a deleted scene on the Blu-ray.
Which is a great idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, so they can establish that.
Because I always feel like that people jump to showing off the big villain immediately.
They really didn't in this case. They show off another villain in Shazam's Rogues Gallery, but it's not Black Adam.
I figured who it is. It's like a caterpillar. Mm-hmm. All I know is that the Shazam comic books were weird.
They are. Absolutely.
They're so
across
weird.
all eras, I think they're weird too.
I mean, they're cool. They're just weird. He was made as literally a direct rival to Superman. Mm-hmm. And the DC's like, hey, he's stealing our stuff. And then they bought the character. Just so they could stop making the character.
Yeah. Pretty powerful stuff.
I feel like what it is like Shazam is basically like Superman as told by like a 10-year-old.
I can get behind that.
Someone also pointed out to me that Shazam is basically the ultimate power trip for kids.
Absolutely.
Which is totally believable. But
absolutely.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Speaking of potential power trips, we have another Batman movie that's coming out.
Another one?
The Batman. And it stars Robert Pattinson.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
The new Batman.
I did see the trailer.
What are your thoughts on this new trailer? They only got 25% of the footage before they had to shut down because of COVID. Keep that in mind. But what are your thoughts, Wayne?
I kind of forgot most of it. I mean, I remember looking at it and going, oh, look, it's more Batman. Oh, look, can we please stop doing Batman?
I was going to say, do you think the general audience is going to have some fatigue with Batman
No,
here?
because the internet's memes are keeping him alive. Like, I like Batman fine.
I like Robert Pattinson in this role. I think he's going to deliver something different. I consider him a legitimate actor.
I think you guys had me on the first time.
Yeah, we talked about this
when my first time
year,
on Nights was, what are your thoughts? It's like, I don't care anymore. Because we've had 5-6 different Batmen in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Pick another damn character, BC.
Well, what's interesting with the Batman is that this was never meant to be an alternate take on the character. This was meant to be Ben Affleck's Batman movie where he directed and starred in it, and then he stepped away from directing to focus on acting, and then he didn't like the direction because they outed Zack Snyder, so he left altogether. So this was never meant to be a separate production, but Warner Brothers just decided, let's just sell Batman again because people love it.
What I saw of it, it looks too dark. Like, they once again did the Snyder thing, which is just turn the gradient way down.
It kind of feels like Beware the Batman almost, that Cartoon Network series that was only ran for 2 seasons, but then no kids watched it because it was kind of just too dark. The main villain was Professor Pig.
Who wants to watch a TV show with Professor Pig?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it has a lot of potential. I like that they're using the Riddler and Catwoman for this, and I think Colin Firth is Penguin. I think I heard that. I think it's certainly interesting casting.
I think the casting is fine. The thing about Batman is that he's been done to death because everyone's always going to compare Batman now to either Michael Keaton or Christian Bale. We all know the correct answer is Will Arnett.
That's fair. You should add Will Arnett to the conversation too.
You should definitely add Will Arnett.
Also, Batman, Kevin Conroy as well.
Kevin Conroy, like, it's weird now because like people will, like me and your brother went to a party once. And it was like, who's your favorite Batman? And we're like, Kevin Conroy, like without even thinking about it. Who's your favorite Joker? I bet it's Heath Ledger. It's like, no, it's Mark Hamill.
Next question. Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, it was like for me, Mark Hamill will always.
Kevin Conroy is Batman, but I still like I don't know. I like Ben Affleck. I like that he's coming back, that we're not kicking him out. Clearly with Ben Affleck, we weren't sure if Robert Pattinson was meant to be the younger Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne, but now that Ben Affleck is coming back to be Batman, this is now officially
its own.
It's a separate story. It's like an Earth 2, basically, for the film
That's cool.
universe.
I heard if what it looks like they're going to base it off of was the Earth 1 comic book, which my cousin read, which I never read because I'm too flapping lazy to read anything anymore. And which is like supposed to be this awesome comic book that's written by Jeff Jones.
Right.
He's one of my favorite writers. I mean, I own all of his Green Lantern stuff.
Yep.
So if he's writing it, that's great. If they get like good writers for it and good story, I don't care anymore who's playing Batman. That's basically how it is. He does the suit does
the character is stronger than
yeah.
the actor, basically. He's just become such a Hollywood staple, which is incredible because, comic books for a time, no one could see them as legitimate franchises, and now they dominate
I also want to point
Hollywood.
out that he hates Twilight more than any other person alive.
Who does?
Robert Pattinson.
Do you blame him?
I don't.
He was on those sets for 5 films.
He hated those movies. He bashes Twilight harder than anyone else does.
He didn't want to do any franchise projects after that for a long time.
And I don't blame him.
And he was probably convinced that, all right, I think I'm ready to come back and take on this character because I've made it clear as an actor, I don't want anything like I got on Twilight. I would like to participate in this type of story, and I think he's been working with Matt Reeves, the director, to make that
which is fine.
Kind of story.
I don't know anything that Matt Reeves has done for movies, so I can't really pass any judgment on it. But all I'm saying is that it looks a little too dark for me.
They also, again, only shot 25% of the film, and this was all they had. I'm actually shocked that they were able to actually put together a trailer to show for
everyone. Was like, what do you think about the costumes? Like, I don't have any opinion on the costume anymore because
it's all Batman.
It's basically Batman. I'm like, look, if you've seen one Batman costume, you've basically seen them all.
I think the conversation is eventually going to shift to, what do you think of the Batmobile? Because the costume is basically the costume, but it's now the Batmobiles that all have different distinct designs.
I don't care. I think I saw the Batmobile once, and I was like, it's okay. It's a car.
Yeah.
As long as it has a jet engine, that's all I care about. They all have jet engines, by the way.
I can respect that. Yeah, no kidding. So yeah, that was everything that we saw at DC Fandome. What do you guys think about everything that was revealed and announced and talked about at DC Fandome? Please let us know in the comments down below. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you like and subscribe to all of our various platforms. We are on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We are the Dirty Table Knights here at Knights of the Dirty Table. We go live on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're also on YouTube at Knights of the Dirty Table. So make sure to like and subscribe to all of our stuff and follow us as well. Thank you, Wayne.
No problem.
For joining me today. Hopefully we can do more of these YouTube exclusives going forward.
I hope to do some too. They're fun.
And
especially seeing I live right up the street.
Right, for sure. And we'll see you next time, cool kids.
Later, guys.
Out. Great job, fam. Thank you.
No problem, bud. That was a lot of fun. I know how I don't see